Today we continue our Unlucky Fox triple feature with Mark Jones's 1993 gold-plated Goldfist. The shoes need cleaning, the coins need counting, and Jennifer Aniston trades mole culture for meatloaf as we pray to St. Patrick and lay down a litany to Lady Luck before meeting the greedy green little son of a bitch Lubdan in Leprechaun.
You're listening to How I Met Your Monster, a podcast that explores the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. My name's Zach.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Casey.
And together we dive into the world of horror to find out how filmmakers have introduced us to our favorite monsters time and time again. This is How I Met Your Monster.
Boss, you opened it. We came.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left.
Explorers in the further regions of experience. Demons to some, angels to others.
Call you meatloaf! Surprise, Sydney.
Welcome to How I Met Your Monster, the show where we discuss the introductions to your favorite movie monsters. Today, the Unlucky Fucks. Wait, how do you say it, Danny? Unlucky Fucks.
Unlucky Fox.
Unlucky Fucks. Yeah, our triple feature continues with kind of like the heart of this whole triple feature, the Leprechaun, the four-leaf clover, the luck, all the bullshit.
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. We're talking about the Leprechaun today. Actually, just Leprechaun. I always say the Leprechaun, but
Well, he's the leprechaun.
he is the Leprechaun.
I did not know that his name was Lubdan.
Lubdan. They don't say it in the movie, but it is his name.
Oh, didn't know that.
Now you make me anxious. Now it's...
I didn't know that.
No, I did not.
Interesting.
Oh, wait, is it Lubdan? Oh, it's Lubdan. Whoops. I'm glad you called that out. It's Lubdan. Apparently, name is Lubdan Batowski.
Lubdan Batowski? Lubdan Batowski?
No.
That's it on villains.fandom.com.
Batowski is not Irish. That's Polish.
Lubdan Batowski.
That's a Polish name.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, Lubdan. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm
Lubdan
glad you called it out, though.
Batowski? What?
Lubdan.
When did they... Is that like from like Leprechaun Origins or something? Like, where did that come from?
It's in a movie. I just know that his name is Lubdan.
Oh, my God. Okay.
You sure? Because you thought it was Lebden.
You also said Batowski.
So in the Dead Meat fandom, they call him Lubdan the Leprechaun.
Okay. It says, I just Googled what movie does the Leprechaun get the name Lubdan.
Oh.
Said the Leprechaun is named Lubdan in the movies Leprechaun and Leprechaun Back to the Hood. However, the Leprechaun's creator, Mark Jones, says that Lubdan was not the original name he chose.
Oh.
Well, in the original draft of the script, Jones named the Leprechaun Basil.
Oh.
Great.
But I don't know anything. I've never heard Lubdan before.
Basil. Basil's green.
Yeah.
Leprechaun's green. I'm just kidding.
Why not Clover?
Clover. It's a little on the nose, don't you think?
Can this be our episode where we just try to figure out the origins of the Leprechaun? How we met the monster?
There's a Screen Rant article from 2021 that says Leprechaun creator debunks the misconception that he was named Lubdan in the original script. But apparently the internet has spoken. Maybe it's in one of the sequels, which we are not really covering today, but somewhere along the line, he got the name Lubdan. Lubdan the Leprechaun.
Lubdan the Leprechaun.
Lubdan the Leprechaun.
It works, I guess.
Yeah.
No.
I'll take
His
it.
name should be Grady.
Grady.
Ogre.
Grady the Leprechaun.
Grady.
Didn't we talk about how we're like, let's try to limit our voice work and impersonations of other cultures? And we have, I would say, arguably the percentage of is much higher than our normal
I didn't
voices.
agree with that, so.
That's true. You didn't. You fought us pretty hard on that.
I fought you until now you're just ghosts on this show. You're not even alive anymore.
Oh,
we've got ghosts. We've got leprechauns. Guys, is this a horror movie podcast?
But before we get started, if you're new to the show or if you have been listening to the show for a while, but you're not subscribed to us, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. Make sure to hit that plus button or the follow button, because that really helps us reach a larger audience. So, and another thing that really helps the show is reviews. And we would love to get some new reviews on Apple Podcasts. If you could help us out there, that would be awesome. We have a new Patreon account, fairly new, a few months old now. And we do some fun audio commentaries on that. And make sure to follow us on all the social media channels so that you can be involved in our watch-alongs. Because with those watch-alongs, we do trivia. And if you win trivia, you get a free month of Patreon. So it's kind of a win-win. You get to have fun, watch a movie, and potentially win a free month of bonus content. So yeah, that's your homework. Welcome to How I Met Your Monster. Here's your homework.
Don't you miss high school?
Whenever we do Leprechaun on the watch along, if we ever do it as a watch along, there might be trivia about where I might ask, one of us might ask, what is the leprechaun's name? And you will know by listening to this episode that it is Lubdan.
Oh, Lubdan.
Larry the leprechaun. You guys, do you remember the first time you saw Leprechaun?
No.
As a wee lad, as a kid, I the only Leprechaun movies that I watched were 2 and 3. 2 predominantly, 3 occasionally. And I don't actually think I'd ever seen the first Leprechaun until later in life.
Okay.
How about you?
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw them in order. I don't remember the first time, but I'm pretty sure that I saw 1 first and then
flex.
2 and 3 and 4 and
wow.
But I haven't seen the other ones like Leprechaun in the Hood, Back to the Hood, or The Origins, or there's another one somewhere in there too. Returns.
In space?
Oh, I've seen In Space, yeah.
Well, guys, I have only ever seen this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 2 and 3 are fun. At least, I mean, the other ones might be, but I can speak to 2 and 3. Those are
2. I could be wrong. I haven't seen it in a long time. I seem to remember they had a lot of fun with kind of his powers and tricking people, which feels very Leprechaun. Feels fitting for a Leprechaun movie, which I feel like you don't get a lot in this one.
We used to leave stuff out for leprechauns on St. Patrick's Day.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
What did you leave out? What do you leave out?
I don't know. Like, I had a dollhouse, and so my mom, we would like prepare it for the leprechauns, and then we'd leave them treats and stuff.
Wait, that's so fun.
Dude.
People didn't do that?
I don't know.
We just ate a lot of cabbage.
Was my mom cool?
Yeah? Yeah. Probably.
No, it was super cute. I don't remember what their names were. Probably something, like Lucky.
We're gonna find out that your mom like wronged a leprechaun in her past, and like she has to like pay for it every year. She's like, I must protect my children.
Yeah. Oh.
We must lay an offering to the leprechaun.
Yeah. I'm going to call her after this. Find out.
Speaking of that, if you guys have not seen the movie Unwelcome on Shudder, check that out. It's not leprechauns, but they're like little gremlins, and they have to like leave them offerings or they get attacked if they don't leave them a little thing. So,
cute.
It's a fun movie, but so Leprechaun was from Trimark Pictures, which did a lot of direct-to-video stuff. This one actually got a theatrical release, and what did it make? Like $8 million, I think, on a just less than $1 million budget.
Wow.
Oh.
So it did fairly well. Part 2 didn't do so well. So then when they got to part 3, then it went direct to video. 3 was direct to video.
This seems like a direct to video movie.
It very much did.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably because Trimark was like, that was their bread and butter, was direct to video.
Yeah.
They did do some theatrical stuff, but it was mostly direct to video. So it's probably like shot in that style. But yeah, I made a note, like it just like starts, right?
Yeah.
And then like a lot of direct to video stuff like did that. Like there's no time for like fun title sequences. It just like starts, and then like you see the leprechaun come in, and
I think the reputation of this is there's a few specific elements that helped. You know, leprechauns being something like kind of a universal monster that at that point, as far as I know, like haven't really been done in the mainstream as like a horror movie character.
Right.
And then you have Jennifer Aniston, who is coming in with, I mean, it's obviously one of her first roles.
With that nose.
But I love everything about her.
No, I do, but she had a nose job after this movie. But I don't care.
Right after this?
I don't know. I mean, her nose looks a lot different between this and Friends, and they weren't very that far apart, were they?
No, Friends was the next year. Friends started in 94, I believe, and this was 93.
I don't have anything against her original nose.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. No, I don't care.
No, but she does have like a very obvious charm. Like I was watching this with Cody, and I feel like we'll obviously get into it, but they kind of paint her character as someone who is just like, I just want to go to the mall. Like she's like, kind of hateable, like that's how she's designed. But I was like, wow, she has so much charm that it's hard to like hate her. Like if you used any other kind of actress at the time playing this sort of Valley girl, like, I don't know. I thought I thought that really helped elevate the movie. So horror, scary leprechauns, that, and I had another point. I can't remember what. Oh, and Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis, yeah.
I mean, can you imagine like if they had cast anyone else in this role? He's so like between his voice, his, maybe we don't want the movie. I won't speak for you two, but maybe we don't want the movie to be this like funny comedic romp. We kind of want it to lean more into the horror.
Sure, I do. It's about a leprechaun.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like, and when he kind of gets it, he's like, no, like you have to play into the silliness of it for this to work, and he obviously does an incredible job.
Yeah, so this movie was originally designed to be more comical. It was the feature directorial debut of Mark Jones, who also wrote it, and he had experience. He used to write Scooby-Doo episodes. So his original vision for this movie was more like Scooby-Doo-esque, which you do see some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when he goes through the fence and it's the outline of his body.
Yeah. And I thought like the scene where he's on the skateboard, like going back and forth between the two things, and which reminded me of you, Danny, the skateboarding, because you just started practicing skateboarding.
Yeah, and that's where I took my inspiration. There are tutorials on YouTube, but I've just been watching that scene on repeat.
But yeah, so it was more like Scooby-Doo-esque when they started, and after the test screenings, it was almost too comical. I saw a producer talking about how it came back, and it was probably like 70 to 80% comedy, and the rest was horror. So they wanted to. This is one where they wanted to make it an R rating. Yeah. Instead of, and it like wasn't there. So that's they went back after principal photography was done and filmed additional scenes to make it gorier and scarier and to kind of like even out the comedy and the horror. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. Like for example, the police officer who pulls the leprechaun over in his little car, right? In the original cut of the movie, the leprechaun like grabs his face and like shakes it around and does whatever, and then like that's the scene. But then they went back and filmed that whole like chase sequence through the woods and like where he breaks his neck and all that stuff. Like that was all additional stuff. And leaning into that R rating bit, Warwick Davis, he had mentioned that he almost regretted his performance a little bit because he wished that he knew it was going to be an R rating because he would have played it differently.
Oh yeah, he could have fucking sworn and
than what he did.
Yeah, said some obscene things.
So he was kind of a little disappointed, I think, because he's like, when you're an actor, you want to know what you're going for, and he thought it was going to be more tame, and then he's like, well, then they wanted it to be R.
But it's funny. It's like you could argue that his performance kind of contrasts the horror, and that's what makes it memorable. Like kind of like Pennywise, where he's not playing into the I mean, I guess sometimes Pennywise does, but a lot of the times it is leaning into the clown part of it, which makes it disturbing because it kind of sets up your expectations for who this character is going to be, and then all of a sudden he kind of undercuts it with something scary.
Yeah, totally.
Because there are like when it gets scary, like there are a lot of moments in this movie that obviously the movie's a little dated, like you said, it had a pretty small budget, but there's some moments that have promise. Like I totally get it. Like it's creepy between like the little girl voices in the trunk and a lot of the monster effects, especially in the finale. I think they do a pretty serviceable job, if I do say so myself.
That's how I would describe it for sure.
Serviceable.
And the makeup effects were done by Gabe Bartolos, who did like Brain Damage and Basket Case 2 and Frankenhooker.
Basket Case 2.
Yeah. So yeah, he must have worked. He did work with Frank Henenlotter a lot. But he also was additional crew Some roles were uncredited. Some were just like he was on the crew for movies like Jason Lives, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, From Beyond, Gremlins 2, and Casey, even Underworld. He was like a lab like supervisor for that on Underworld. And I know you like Underworld.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been nice because they have vampires and werewolves. It'd be kind of neat if in one of the sequels they go to Ireland and they find it's like a whole clan of leprechauns.
That'd be wild.
But like they're cool leprechauns. Like those movies have cool vampires and cool werewolves.
So the leprechauns are all wearing green leather.
Yeah, they're like leather.
Yeah.
Super tight.
Super tight.
Leather. Gold plated armor.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
They're all Kate Beckinsale in tight leather, but like she's got like the face of the leprechaun.
No.
Yeah,
absolutely
just like
not.
really great bodies.
Absolutely not. Would not allow that.
But yeah, like I didn't notice this, or I didn't really pay attention when I was younger watching this movie. But if you watch closely, you'll see that the leprechaun's makeup gets like more intense throughout the movie. There was like 3 stages. Comparing it from the beginning to the end, like before he melts in the well, spoiler alert, all his like wrinkles and stuff get more like exaggerated and a little bit more scary.
No, what's the reason behind that? Is it because he's away from his gold for too long?
I wonder if it's like he's getting his powers back.
Oh, I see.
Because like as he gets his gold, right, and he starts like when he takes the bag from Jennifer Aniston's character, which is Tori, when he takes the bag from her, he's like, me powers are returning.
So he's actually gets, when he's uglier, he's more powerful. Like more,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's just supposed to be for the audience though, and not really for the story. Like if it's just supposed to be, he's just more menacing for some reason, like because it's not like super noticeable, but you're like, oh, he really looks so much more scary now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be it.
He wants his,
because like, I mean, he's mad.
He
does kill a lot of people, not really in this one, but in the sequels, he kills a lot. And I mean, he's not that menacing. You know what I mean?
No, he's just a silly little guy.
Yeah, does he? Oh, I guess he kills the cop and he kills.
Yeah, he kills the cop,
O'Grady.
the stork.
I think
you know what? We'll talk about it. That's
we should start a podcast, you guys.
That's the show.
Yeah, okay. Should we head to O'Grady Farm?
I mean, I'm going to miss that Beverly Hill Mall life, and I'm going to miss my watercress salads, but let's do it.
What is that?
Watercress? It's just a type of leaf.
It's just like a type of green, yeah.
When she said that, I thought of like a water chestnut. She's like, I just want a salad of water chestnuts.
Well, she wants watercress salad, and then she wants a specific type of water. It's very...
Evian.
Yeah, very pure. She's very pure. Or she wants to be.
And he's like, here's some meatloaf.
Yeah, he didn't even try to make that appetizing. That was disgusting. He was like mushing it on, here's some more meatloaf.
We made it extra sloppy for you.
It's like, Nathan, you're scaring us.
Meatloaf is...
You don't like it, huh?
It's an abomination. No, I fucking... Do you think I like meatloaf?
No, I know you don't like meatloaf.
You don't like loaves of meat?
No, I don't like loaves of meat. I also don't like balls of meat.
What about olive meat? Not olive meat, olive loaf.
No, I don't want anything in a loaf besides my bread. Thank you.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of olives, did you guys know that like green olives with pimentos in them in the center, like those are stuffed in there?
No, that's how they grow in nature.
Yeah.
They don't just come like that.
What did you think?
I don't know. Like I never thought about it as a kid. Like there's the green olive with the red thing. Like that just was like an olive.
Whose job is that? Do you think?
You haven't thought about it as a kid. So then 20 years.
When I was a kid.
I know. Well, when you were a kid. So then 20 years into your adult life, you've just now thinking about it. Huh?
I want to be an olive stuffer.
Okay.
One might think that the leprechaun was an olive stuffer. But
does that mean he's gay? Is that a gay slur for a leprechaun?
Wait, are buttholes now olive holes?
I'm gonna shove my pimento in your olive.
In your olive hole. I'm gonna shove my pimento in your olive hole.
Is it because they're green?
Ew, wait, whose butthole is green?
You don't want a green butthole. Oh, because it's a leprechaun.
Leprechauns. Guys, come on.
I see.
I was like, who has a green butthole? This is horrible.
I
wait,
mean,
yours isn't?
If your penis looks like a pimento pepper, then that's not
anything's on the table.
Hey, we don't know what leprechaun sticks look like.
Speak for yourself.
It's true. They're like dogs, like red rockets.
Oh no. But like with like the wrinkles in it, like on his face.
Ew.
like ridges. He's got a ridgeback red rocket.
Well, Rhodesian ridgeback is a type of dog.
It's like a dragon from Harry Potter.
A red-ridged rocket. Yeah. But no, you'd think he'd be an olive stuffer, but but he's a shoemaker. He's a shoemaker. That's his job.
So wait, does that mean he's straight? Shoemakers, are they straight?
Oh, I don't know. I think you could be a gay shoemaker.
Cloggers are straight.
Oh.
Because the olive stuffer was the gay thing.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I think you could be a olive stuffed shoemaker.
Oh, so you're bi.
All right, first of all, I'm just going to say this. When it comes to stuffing olives, I like to look at this on a more of a fluid basis. And I think you can put your pimento in an olive hole and still align with any leprechaun. Where if you want to be a leprechaun or you want to be a vampire or a werewolf, it doesn't matter. You put your pimento wherever you want as long as there is consent.
Yeah.
But
that's true. But consent's important.
No, not olive hole.
But you're talking about other races. I'm talking about sexuality, but it's okay.
Yeah, I actually
pimento
accidentally backdoor introduced werewolves into this, which backdoor introduced bestiality into this.
Yeah.
I would say that a leprechaun could stick his pimento in a vampire olive hole.
Yeah, I agree.
What is happening?
I don't know what's happening.
As long as you don't have garlic in the olive.
Ooh.
Like if they're like marinating in olive and garlic olive oil.
Yeah, it's like, well, the pimento, he puts his garlic pimento in a vampire's olive hole and the vampire's like, ow, 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 ow. Oh.
Yeah, you gotta, anyone who knows about putting a pimento in an olive hole, you gotta ease it in.
Okay.
You know, you need a lot of olive oil.
This has gone on way too long. I am sorry that I ever started this. I don't even like olives.
Wow, Casey, that's so offensive.
Okay, well, let's go to the O'Grady farm to meet a 600-year-old olive stuffing shoemaker.
Perfect.
Named Lubdan. The leprechaun.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for the leprechaun, we have 6 official monster reveals. And if you're new to the show, a monster reveal is anytime the monster is revealed to a character in the movie or to us as an audience where we find out they are a monster. So we have 6 official monster reveals for Leprechaun. And Casey, since this was your pick for our Unlucky Fucks triple feature, could you please read the synopsis from IMDb?
This synopsis is pretty great. It's short and sweet.
Okay.
An evil, sadistic leprechaun goes on a killing rampage in search of his beloved pot of gold.
Okay.
It's not a pot of gold, though. It's a sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, how come? I wonder why they didn't do the pot.
Because it's easier to carry a sack around, I think. Because they, like, carry it around and pick it, like, it'd be weird if it
Speak for yourself.
I mean, it's not, like, you would think carrying a sack around would just be, like, instinctual, right?
Yeah.
But, like, man, there's got to be some support there. I'm not a boxer, man.
Yeah.
Well, how much gold do you have in yours?
Lots
gold
of gold.
Heavy.
Yeah. I got quite a bit of gold.
Yeah, lighten your load.
I got like the biggest sack of gold.
I have arguably it's almost like too big.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I love counting my.
I love the human body, but balls are not where it's at. So.
Oh, I love balls.
I know you do, Danny.
I'm about to have to empty all my gold coins out of my gold sack.
Does that mean you're gonna masturbate?
I've used my gold. No.
Zach.
It did sound like that, though,
yes,
didn't
it?
I gotta empty my gold sack. Oh my God. Nope. No jumping jacks today.
Who needs them?
No, I'm going to have to get a vasectomy. Ugh.
Oh, are
that's
you?
Scary.
That's scary. Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Shut up. It is not.
Dude, you can't even, you're not even asleep.
Yeah, because that's how fucking not invasive it is, bro.
Dude,
they fucking snip your shit. You sit with a cold pack on your balls for a day and you're fine. Think about a woman having fucking birth, bro. First of all. Second of all, they give women IUDs without any anesthesia. Do you know how fucking badly those hurt?
I'm going to just make a firm stance right here. I don't think any of this stuff is okay. I think everyone should be put under for all of the things
They give you local anesthesia. You don't need to be put under. But you can't feel anything. It's not like they're just going to cut your fucking dick off.
Stop it.
It's not like they're just going to empty your pot of gold.
Some people come into this world where they literally try to cut your dick off. Like hospitals are a very scary place for genitals.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Circumcision.
But, yeah, it's scary. I don't want to.
Yeah, well, circumcisions are weird. That's It's very strange that we do that to children.
If you want to hear a deeper dive into our talk on circumcision, check out our episode on the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Did we talk about it?
Quite a bit.
Oh,
cool. But it's not our fault. It was set up in the movie. They had a jar of dried
foreskins.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway,
Zach's done emptying his sack of gold, so I guess we can move on with the show now.
Oh, okay. Back to our fucking topic at hand here. The movie is pretty simple.
Yeah,
Leprechaun wants his gold. They have it. Half the people don't know they have it, and they're after him, and it's a whole thing. And then that's it. He just wants his gold.
And straightforward.
Yeah, and that's always, sometimes that is sometimes you need that.
Yeah,
in a movie, just like a little simple, straight to the point.
We didn't really talk about it. You guys like this movie?
Oh yeah.
Danny?
Yeah.
I will say that in rewatching it after so many years, I didn't love it as much as I thought I did.
Okay.
But it's still fun. Like I still but there's things about it that like weren't, earlier I mentioned that he's not like menacing.
Yeah, I mean, he's defeated by a fucking 4-leaf clover. So I actually watched this movie within the last couple of years. I watched it like 2 years ago on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, okay.
So I've seen it.
I will say this. I almost feel like this movie would have worked really well if the main character was actually Alex, and this was a movie about like a kid who sees a leprechaun and like no one believes him, because ultimately he kind of has the final blow, and he sort of is a very commanding kind of type A character. He's really kind of leading the charge when he's on screen. Mm-hmm. But, I'm not here to rewrite history. I'm just here to talk about it. So,
and I did going into it this time, knowing that it was like originally more comical, I was like, okay, because I actually didn't remember a lot of the comic bits that were in this.
Yeah.
That when I was a kid would have been like not realizing they were funny. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Danny, a lot of speed ramping in this movie.
Yeah.
I know you love your speed ramping.
I was like, God damn it.
But it's in this movie, it works, like, because it's just so ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I will say the leprechaun, of all the movie monsters that I was aware of as a kid, leprechaun maybe was the one that I found to be the most scary.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but he just really freaked me out.
Sure. I mean, he is scary, like just to look at, Mm-hmm. I guess for part 2, they did like a promotion where he like Warwick Davis like got in the costume and like went out on the streets of New York City. Mm-hmm. Like that would be fucking freaky to like see the leprechaun. But okay, should we jump into our first reveal?
It's going to take us a while. Just kidding. It's the first scene of the movie.
Yeah, I like that though. I like it when movies are set up with a kill.
No, but like even like the very first, like the opening shot, there's no credits. He just like comes down the stairs in his little dungeon and he's like, I'm going to kill people who steal my gold.
Yeah.
And you're okay.
Okay.
But it's like those movies, I'm trying to think. There was another example of a movie. I can't think of it right now, but like movies that just like start. Mm-hmm. And you're almost like, did I miss something? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's no
foreplay.
It's not even like a fade in or like even like a single credit that says like Trimark Pictures presents. It's just like, boom, the movie's going. And you're like, wait a second. What's happening?
Well, because it is technically like this movie has 2 cold opens between this introduction and then the following scene at the O'Grady house.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the O'Grady house, Mr. O'Grady, Dan O'Grady, sets up the fact that there was like another cold open that we didn't see when he first meets the leprechaun.
Right.
So it almost seemed like maybe they were like, where do we want to start? And they were like, we'll talk about that one. We can't keep too many cold opens. We have enough as it is.
Yeah, they set up the whole movie in the first shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's the leprechaun. We've got our monster, and he says, "If whoever steals my gold, they're not going to live through the night." Like, and that's the movie. There we go. Trimark's like, let's go.
Nailed it.
We don't have time for this shit. Yeah, because Mark Jones, who made this, was a first-time director, and I guess like Trimark offered him a lot of money not to direct it, and he was like, "No, I'm doing this."
Wow.
And they had said at the beginning of filming, they were like, "If we don't like dailies 2 days in a row, you're fired."
Wow.
But then I guess they came around and he got to.
They love the dailies
to keep going, but they love
the movie. Looks great. Like a lot of the movie really, especially for a movie that you said was $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 900,000 in 1992 or 3.
Yeah,
that's great.
So would it, like today's standards would have been a little bit more than $1 million, but
I think Mark, you did a great job.
Yeah.
But okay. So our second reveal, the first reveal is really quick. Second reveal is Mrs. O'Grady meeting the leprechaun in the suitcase.
Yeah. Well, at this point, Dan, her husband, said he came back from Ireland to, I think, bury his mother.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was any confusion as to if there was any question, I guess, as to whether or not these characters were from Ireland, they laid on pretty thick with their accents.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're living in North Dakota, I think they mentioned later. He said he found some gold after he met a leprechaun and was able to basically weasel it away from him.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, that's the whole story.
How does it happen in the first place? He probably set a trap. He's just a little bitch, you know? He just wants somebody to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, it goes back to my whole, like, not very menacing thing. Like, he seems pretty easy to deal with.
Yeah, you just give him back the gold. And
maybe Dan O'Grady's mom, like, maybe she had the gold. Or maybe the leprechaun lived like around her property. So like there's a whole movie there, I feel like.
Yeah.
But still, like, he killed his fucking wife, and you could have been like, he wasn't even at that point. He wasn't even like, geez, just take the gold and get out of here. He was like, no, I'm still going to take this gold.
He was too greedy.
Greedy O'Grady.
Oh, greedy.
Oh, greedy.
It would have been neat if like maybe you found out that the mom knew about leprechauns and had the gold. And then after she died, he inherited a bunch of her stuff. And one of the things was his collection of gold. But once he took it away from...
But how would she have had the gold and still been alive?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe she just wore... Maybe she had like a little 4-leaf clover locket.
Ooh.
That's how he knows about all the...
Is it that
history.
easy?
Speaking of 4-leaf clovers, like, what the fuck was O'Grady thinking when he gets the leprechaun in the box, right? In the crate. He sets the 4-leaf clover on top. Great. That's all well and good. He's like, you're trapped here because the power of this 4-leaf clover will keep you in there. And then he's going to burn it?
Yeah.
Like, what did he think was going to happen to the 4-leaf clover?
Well, he sets up later. We are jumping around, just like the leprechaun in this movie. When he's on a pogo stick, he establishes the fact that a 4-leaf clover will actually kill it.
Yeah.
And all he does is trap it.
Yeah.
And he also has
throw the 4-leaf clover in the crate, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
And he has a 4-leaf clover, or I guess he had not a 4-leaf clover, but it is like a whole, he says it like a clover patch by the well in the yard.
Yeah.
Which is
do something.
Is very much just like painted grass.
Yeah.
Or like they're just shining like a green light on it.
If you look close, they like stapled another clover onto it just to make them 4-leaf.
She's like digging through the clovers, and it's like a little clump in a patch of grass, and she's like, we'll never find it, there's too many clovers. And I'm like, there's clearly not that many clovers. It's like,
pretend it's a watercress salad, just dig in.
But yeah, Mrs. O'Grady, she hears like the leprechaun can like disguise his voice and like manipulate.
It's like the voice
voices.
changer in Scream 3.
Yes. So what he's got, he like opens it up, it's Ghostface. But it's singing, what is it? Mary Had a Little Lamb or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
Ooh, I don't even remember.
Okay, I feel like I'm on this train of like finding things to criticize in this movie. But her husband's name is Dan. I wish there's the Irish, Danny boy, the pipes
are calling.
Oh, they should have done that. That's all I'm going to say, and I'm done. That's my last criticism.
I find that hard to believe. I think you'll find something, Danny.
I think so. Yeah, I think.
But why? Oh man, that was fucking creepy. Why would you go to the suitcase? How is there a little girl that fits in that suitcase? Like it's not.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
You'd be confused.
I mean, like a little girl that she's like the way her voice sounded, whatever age that is, would not fit in that suitcase.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does that mean? You just go, whatever. And you just leave the suitcase there?
Burn it.
Ask it some questions, I guess.
Yeah, call a priest.
Ask it something.
They're like, who are you? Why are you singing?
When the suitcase pops open, it was almost like it reminded me of Fluffy from Creepshow.
Oh yeah, the eyes.
Like when the crate opens, just like the eyes, the red eyes, and then the leprechaun pops out and knocks her down. Like he doesn't really kill her. She just falls down the stairs.
He was going to kill her, but it just so happened that she fell down the stairs in a really silly way.
Yeah.
And broke her neck. She did flips, man.
She cartwheels down to her death.
She did. It was funny.
So when Dan comes home to kind of investigate and realizes that his wife is dead and everything, and that the leprechaun is here, Lubdan, what a name.
Lubdan the leprechaun.
When he's in the crate and he's trapped in there, he is kind of saying like, I curse you, Dan O'Grady.
Yeah.
They don't really, maybe he wasn't being literal, but he does have a stroke shortly thereafter. So I was curious if basically before we really get into like this monster as we're meeting him, like what are the rules, if there are any?
I don't think there are.
Yeah.
I had always thought that, in my interpretation of that scene, I always thought that the Lubdan, the leprechaun man, was
the leprechaun man.
was he like did that to O'Grady?
Yeah, me too.
Like because he would be like, "Oh, what's the matter? Did the match blow out?" Like all that stuff. He's like, "What? Why are you having a hard time there, Danny boy?" So like he knew what was happening. And then
it's one of those things where I was trying to clock a lot of the consistency in this movie with his powers, because there were times where
are you going to criticize now?
Not I will not say anything actually. I will refrain from
were you going to say, Danny, let me know, I'll take this one. Let me know if you were going to say that like later when he uses his powers there's like that green light that signifies he's using a power.
Oh, great point. That wasn't what I was going to say, but that's a really good point. I was going to be a little broader on the fact that like for example, I'm jumping around too much and I apologize, but
this is the show.
When Tori escapes in the Jeep and he goes to chase her.
Yeah.
I wonder why he wouldn't just kind of teleport into the car as opposed to, I don't know. There's like little things.
He wanted to use the roller skates.
Yeah, I think
he was just having fun.
He does have fun.
That's fair.
I'll give him that.
Because like later they trap him out of the house and they kind of imply the two Nathan and Ozzy are like, like relieved once they finally close the door. But it's like, no, we've already established that he just kind of appears in places. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my final critique.
Okay.
Yeah, because he'll like there's that one scene where he's like in the refrigerator or like he's in the safe, like he just like is there somehow. So and I think maybe like did the leprechaun do that to Dan O'Grady and then whoever found him, like an ambulance or whatever, like I don't know how they found him because his wife was dead, but they were just like, oh, he must have had a stroke.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, he's got the leprechaun curse.
He got cursed by a leprechaun.
Like you can still function after a stroke, so maybe he called afterwards, and then it fucked him up too bad.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then he had to go live in a home because he wasn't able to properly function to live alone after that.
Mm-hmm. And he was like, "There's a leprechaun in the basement," and everyone's like, "This guy just had a stroke."
Yeah, this guy had a stroke, and he's nuts. So let's take him.
Like he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But then it's 10 years later. Tori and her father are moving to this house, and they get in. It's covered in cobwebs and everything. Like,
ugh, I hate cobwebs.
When Tori sees that fucking tarantula in the basement, she is way too calm.
Mm-hmm.
It is like right there, and she's like, "Look at that spider! Look how big that spider is!"
I wouldn't freak out.
Fuck, I would be out of there so fast, especially like the way they set her up to be like, oh, I missed the mall and stuff. You see a fucking tarantula just like 3 or 4 feet away from you climbing up the wall.
Do they have tarantulas in North Dakota?
Oh, God. I don't know. There's tarantulas here in Oklahoma. Fuck.
Wait, are there really?
Yeah, I've seen one crossing the road when I was like, not near me, but like when I was like driving out in like a more rural area, there was one crossing the road. And then my buddy Mike, who lives in a, just like a suburb outside of the city, he had one on his sidewalk one time.
Cool.
And in certain parts of the year, I don't know if it happens every year or maybe it's just every so many years, there's like a tarantula migration.
Okay.
They like,
I don't need to hear these things.
They like, I want to say swarm, but like they just like travel across, and I'm like, nope.
Let's look that up.
A flock of tarantulas.
But you know what else is in Oklahoma? Fucking scorpions.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going? Oklahoma is crazy.
Yeah, I can't. I need to get out of here. They have fucking tarantulas, scorpions, and open carry gun laws. I need to fucking get out.
And Bibles in the classroom.
Bibles in the classrooms. Fuck.
The La Junta Tarantula Trek. It's each fall.
It's each fall. Okay.
Oh, it's mostly southeast Colorado.
So that would make northwest Oklahoma.
Northwest.
That would be northwest Oklahoma. They like travel. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if they travel to Oklahoma or from Oklahoma. I don't know, but
I don't know. They're just looking to mate, though.
Oh God.
And so they want to make more, is what you're saying.
Nope.
Oh, they can live up to 25 years.
They want to put their
great
tarantula pimento into another tarantula's.
Oh, they're so cute. There's a whole website about this thing.
Oh my God, you guys, I had a dream about tarantulas.
Dude, it's all coming together.
I swear to God, I had a dream that I was watching a David Lynch movie and Laura Dern was playing an old woman in bed. And then someone put blanket covers on her and then pulled it away. And when they pulled it away, she was a giant baby tarantula. So you ever see that tarantula or the bugs, like, do you ever get on your Instagram feeds where it's like they're really cute looking, like with the big eyes?
Oh, yeah, sure. Like the little tiny, like little jumping spiders or something. They're like fuzzy.
It was that, but it was the size of Laura Dern.
Oh.
And it was like its little pinchers, like
oh, it was Danny, what the fuck? What did you eat before bed?
I had a weird dream. Probably just drank some Metamucil. There's too much sugar in there.
He had olive stuffed with pimentos.
Yeah. Well, he got some olives, and then
he got his olive pimento stuff before bed, and that it was Valentine's Day before this recording. So.
It was. Yeah.
That's too funny. That is so funny. But yeah, she definitely did not react the way she should have. I'm saying it right now. She should have reacted.
I mean, I guess for the way that they set her up, yeah, I wouldn't freak out. I like tarantulas. Mm-hmm. I actually would rather see a tarantula than a small spider.
Oh, I thought you were going to say rather than a leprechaun.
Well, that too.
Speaking of tarantulas, which makes me think of the scene in the Monster Squad when the coffin opens and you see spider legs come out and then the fingers of Dracula. We should mention that there is an honorable mention in this scene when Tori name drops.
We should mention honorably.
Yeah.
Sorry. That was so dumb, but I could not say it.
She honorably mentions Dracula. He has nothing to do with this movie, nor any of the lore associated with it, aside from the fact that leprechauns maybe are as iconic as a vampire. But yeah, Dracula gets a shout out in this movie. Of course we're going to mention it. It's the monster of all monsters.
And I mean, a fucking leprechaun could stuff Dracula's olive hole.
Exactly.
God, why do people listen to this show?
How come we didn't get that scene? That's a sequel.
Yeah. That should have happened in Leprechaun too.
Just Leprechaun, Dracula.
A love story.
Oh, it could be like like one of those like old like Leprechaun meets Dracula or
but it's just a porno.
Okay, so now in the movie we're meeting Nathan, Ozzy, and Alex, who they're painters. Guys,
listen,
have they ever painted a house before?
Nope.
That's not even the thing that bothers me. The thing that bothers me is that they have a company called Three Guys Who Like to Paint. One of them is a child. So, like, what are you talking about? Yeah. This 12-year-old child is not a part of a company called Three Guys Who Like to Paint.
And is he like Nathan's brother? Or
Yes.
He is Nathan's brother, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and Ozzy is not related. He's just a friend.
Yes, he's
I
just his
believe
friend.
so.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
All
Alex, though, I would argue, is the most adult of them, despite being the child.
Yeah, it's very
You
strange.
think he's more adult than Nathan?
It's like Nathan
doesn't know where he is.
Oh, Danny,
Yeah.
speaking of Nathan and Casey too, like, what did you guys think of Nathan? Huh?
There's a lot of heavy breathing.
Oh, really? I don't.
My pimento. No, okay, no more pimento jokes.
I'm more attracted to Jennifer Aniston.
When Nathan is fucking bending over that thing to look for the leprechaun in the back and he sees the rat.
You see his olive oil.
Casey, you were more into Jennifer, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't. Nathan just didn't do it for me. I think a big part of it was, and her flirting too, but she's just a cute girl, so it doesn't bother me. But the way that they flirted with each other was very strange. I didn't understand what was happening. So yeah, Nathan was a big dummy, and I don't.
But sometimes you gotta love just like a big dumb jock.
No, I did that once, and yeah, I couldn't take it, and he ended up being really mean. So I was like, you know what? You can't be dumb and mean.
The dumb jocks have to be one-hit wonders, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I
you hit it, you quit it.
I can't, because I'm not even attracted to the person if they're dumb.
Yeah, hit it, quit it, and then tell them get it.
Get it.
But yeah, Nathan, Alex, and Ozzy are there to paint the house, which this might be their first job. Like they don't. That house is not prepped for painting.
He is 12.
That's true.
So
well, that's the thing. I think the house needed a little bit more than paint, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like as they paint it, it's like falling apart. The ceiling collapses.
And
it's like they like started with blue, and then they're also doing red at the same time. And like, what was? I
feel like there's a story here about who. All right, I'm assuming Tori's dad chose the colors.
Okay,
so there's a backstory here. They leave, and I'm obviously, guys, I am a gay liberal. They're leaving the liberal California, LA to move into the country where they can, set up their firearms in the basement. The government's not going to touch them. And then they paint their house red, white, and blue, naturally. So this is like a deep, like full on MAGA conservative, but like pre-Trump being political.
Yeah.
It's very, this movie is, it's a prescient story about modern day politics.
Okay.
The leprechaun being an immigrant.
Exactly. And they treat him immediately as a monster.
And steal his gold.
They stole from him.
Yep.
Okay.
And he was here first. Yep.
So that part,
wait a second.
No, hold on. Can I speak, please?
Yes.
I can get down with that part. I think that the house paint was on some dumb fucking guy that they hired to buy stuff for the set. And they're like, Frank,
what do we got?
Get the paint that we sent you to get. And he brings out all these dumb fucking colors. And they're like, God damn it, we only have $900,000. We don't have enough time. Just fucking paint the house. I don't know.
They didn't buy the paint. They found that paint.
Yeah, they found it in the barn behind the house. Yeah. I think that's where the story lies.
Well, I think they wasted so much paint by like placing it on Tori and Nathan's arms
neatly
to make it look like they were like deep into this. Like, how would that even
while
happen?
They were flirting?
I've painted a lot of rooms and walls, and I don't think I've ever gotten paint on myself, honestly.
Oh, I get paint all over myself.
Yeah, but it's not like so like uniformed.
It's not. It's usually splatters of paint because when you use a roller, it splatters on you.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I think we will forgo our conspiracy theory of the week for this episode.
No, by all means.
Well, we already said it.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You always say it first and then say it over again.
I know.
That's fine.
That doesn't matter.
Okay, well, let's just move on to our number 3 official reveal.
Wow.
Ozzy. He meets the leprechaun in the crate. Because he like brushes off the 4-leaf clover, and leprechaun pops out. Like, dude,
he doesn't pop out; he busts through.
Yeah. I love Ozzy's character. I don't know if it's because I love Ozzy's character or if I love Mark Holton, who was obviously Francis in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and he played what they call him, Chubbs in Teen Wolf, which is fucking rude. So yeah, Ozzy meets the leprechaun, and then he goes out and tells everybody, and of course they don't believe him, and. Okay, dude, Alex, right? Why would you not believe your friend about a leprechaun after you just randomly find a bag of gold at the end of a fucking rainbow? A sack of gold, a nut sack full of gold at the end of a rainbow, which you said like, oh, you can't find the end of a rainbow. And then they do find the end of a rainbow. And on top of that, they find a nut sack full of gold. Why would you still not believe your friend that there is a leprechaun?
This is why it should have been Alex. He should have been the entry point into discovering the leprechaun, because I feel like it's more believable to just be like, we don't believe you, you're a dumb kid.
Well, there's a reason they don't believe Ozzy either.
Well, that's, I mean, because they make Ozzy kind of challenged. And that's kind of like playing
so you're saying more,
it's like kind of playing into that same thing of like being, Alex, you're a kid, we don't believe you.
Right.
Ozzy.
You're just saying more because they're giving us like cold hard facts, like literal leprechaun isms.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You find all this stuff and then you're still like, oh, Ozzy, you're just dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, why would you not? I don't know.
Well, the twist is maybe just Tori and Nathan are the dumb ones.
That's true.
Yeah.
All the blood's going to their pimento and not their brain. They're not thinking straight.
All the blood's going to Tori's pimento bean.
I was just going to say clitoris, but you know.
Pimento bean is better though.
Sure.
But I think we get some honorable mentions coming up now with Tori, who thinks that fucking Nathan is hiding under the car, tickling her leg, caressing her leg. Like what?
Yeah, they just met.
Nathan.
He's like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go hide under the car.
I literally would have kicked the person under the car. Like even if I had just met some guy and then he was tickling my legs, or I thought he was tickling my legs under the car, I would have kicked him and been like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh, what's wrong with you?
Well, there's an easy fix to the scene to actually make it kind of creepy. Is they talk about it probably being a cat. They should have established the cat going under the truck, and then have a scene where like its tail brushes up against her, and then she can kind of swat it.
Danny, what are you, a writer or something?
But there is no cat.
But that's what I'm saying. Bring a real cat in. Like bring a cat so that we can like set it up, and then she can kind of be more annoyed by it, and then all of a sudden scratch and then freak out. Having it be this whole like thirst trap with Nathan is just it doesn't make any sense.
It's hilarious though, isn't it?
It is funny.
And then that would give the leprechaun a reason to make a cat noise.
To be a cat.
Exactly.
Because he'd be like, oh, I'll just pretend I'm the cat instead of randomly being like, oh, I'll just pretend I'm a cat. Yeah.
Well, you could also argue, I mean, this can go really deep in the sense that like, why is he playing coy to begin with? Because he kind of, once he does reveal himself to them, it's not like he sets anything up to like corner them. And it's like, okay, now I got you where I want you. Now I'm going to reveal myself. The only variable that he gets out of the equation is JD, the dad. But they've never kind of established that JD is more of a threat to the leprechaun than they are. So it does feel a little bit like we want some set pieces rather than we need this for the story.
Yeah.
But hey, like I said, I'm not here to criticize, and I'm not gonna.
No.
Starting now.
That was your last one.
That was the final critique.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Leprechaun bites the dad, and then they rush to the hospital. We get a little setup where it's like a little foreshadowing with like the engine of the car needs to be wiggled. And then the fucking leprechaun goes in the fucking barn and gets a tricycle.
Yeah, I love that.
To like follow them into fucking town.
Love that.
And this brings us to our fourth reveal, which is Joe, the coin shop owner.
Mm-hmm.
So Ozzy and Alex bring the coin that they find to the coin shop to get it tested or, you know, to examine to see if it's real. And we get a little kind of a weird setup with the coin shop owner because he's like, he hears some noises and he's like, who's there? And then the fucking tricycle comes out of nowhere, which was not in your shop to begin with. It just randomly appeared. And then you're kind of just like, he goes a little bit deeper on the who's there, but then he's still just like, I'll just open my safe.
Tricycles. Keep
Damn tricycles always popping up.
That's in a more recent movie too, isn't it?
With the tricycle?
Is it one of the Saw movies where just the tricycle comes in?
Yeah, it feels very Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess he uses his magic to like get in the safe, hoping that the guy's going to open it again. I mean, I guess he could just transfer out, but
yeah, because and I guess we're kind of going forward in time, but in the sequel in Leprechaun 2, he gets trapped in a safe or a cage and he cannot get out.
Right.
Isn't it a thing where leprechaun lore with like iron or some kind of metal they can't it's their
I think
their kryptonite?
They talk about that in part 2, I think.
Okay.
I'm not positive, but there is a safe scene in that, and it's that's a cool scene. Now that I think about that, with like
it's maybe the best scene in the franchise.
I won't spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. This is one that I would recommend watch. Part 2, from what I remember, has some pretty gnarly death scenes.
Yeah. In my head, I always thought that the pogo stick scene, which is here in the coin shop, was in part 2. But
I remember one. Yeah. Okay. I won't say anything.
Let's watch part 2 next.
Let's watch part 2. Okay. Listeners, we're going to take a quick break for about 90 odd minutes or so. So just sit back and we'll see you in a little bit, and we'll have a little bit more to offer in regard to the sequel, Leprechaun 2. All right. We'll see you in a bit.
And we're back.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. So he like bites Joe is the shop owner. He like bites his leg, I guess. And then
bites his knee. Did you notice? It's like,
his knee.
It's rough.
Okay. And then he gets the pogo stick.
He likes to bite.
Yeah.
He's a biter.
Maybe there's something to do with, because when you bite gold to make sure it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Maybe he's just like, he's a biter.
Yeah. Well, that's what Ozzy did when they found the gold. He tried to bite it and he swallowed it.
Yeah. What if he accidentally swallowed his knee? What if that was like a running gag in the movie? They keep biting things and accidentally swallowing it. Dumb.
Oh, Danny.
But he gets the pogo stick, and it's like, it's supposed to be like a funny kind of thing, but it's like, it is funny, but it's also really fucking disturbing that he's like, pogoing, pogo jumping on this guy's chest. Oh my God. It's really fucked up.
Almost critiqued. I'm gonna loved it.
Watch it. Watch yourself. No more.
But here he finds the little car in the coin shop, which is drivable. It's so weird.
Love it.
Yeah.
I want that
But
car.
he takes off and he gets pulled over by a police officer, which is now our 5th official reveal, is when the cop goes and pulls him over, and he's like, doesn't believe he's a leprechaun. He thinks he's a kid, and then he gets attacked. And
because leprechauns,
don't exist.
Yeah.
I just love in horror movies when there's clearly a monster and someone's like, take that mask off. It's like, well, all right.
Well, I get, it is kind of fitting since the writer like wrote Scooby-Doo episodes.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
And but it is literally a mask because it's
imagine being in that situation though.
Yeah.
Would you ever see somebody like that and just be like, oh, yeah, of course it's a leprechaun?
No, I'd see him and I'd be like, fuck this, I'm out of here.
I have been hoping that monsters are real since I was a kid, so I'd be like, yes.
You'd think it was a kid or a little person. You wouldn't be like, it's definitely a leprechaun.
Yeah.
I mean, that is what I looked like as a kid, so.
So yeah, you'd think it was a child.
I really grew into myself. I used to look like a leprechaun.
He looked just like the leprechaun whenever he takes his hat off and he's got like you see his hair. But yeah, like I had mentioned earlier, this was like a scene that was originally just supposed to be short, and then they went in and added that chase scene.
I wonder how short the movie was without. It's only an hour and a half.
Oh,
less than an hour and a half. I wonder how short it was without all these extra scenes they added.
That's true. I wonder if there was more like comedy scenes that were cut to replace it. I don't know.
It was just him riding a pogo stick in the earlier scene. No doubt.
And they're like, oh, let's put a person under that.
Yeah. And then with the cop, he literally just plays hide and seek.
Okay. So they get back to the fucking O'Grady farm, and the leprechaun had been there looking for his gold. And so the place is trashed, and it's the bell that gets him. Ozzy found the little bell, and so then you keep hearing it, and they're like, stop with the bell. And he's like, oh, I don't have the bell. It's like sitting here on the table. And Nathan's like, oh, I guess I'll go outside and see what strange thing is ringing this bell?
This scene cracked me up. It was such like a, show don't tell in movies where we hear the bell and then they go, "What's that?" And they go, "Sounds like a bell." It just made me laugh. Like, no, okay, guys, just trim the fat. Let's get to it. All right, no more critiques. That's my last one.
So this is our, we'll have a little bit more to talk about throughout this movie, but this is our 6th and final official reveal of the Leprechaun. And this scene, this is when Nathan meets the Leprechaun and also like the whole group. It kind of blends together as they come outside and try to help Nathan in the bear trap. But this scene was so weird. I don't know how to describe it because like the Leprechaun was just like there, not doing much. And they were like trying to fight it off, but I don't know, was he like chewing on Nathan's leg or something? Or what was he doing?
I don't know either.
It wasn't like...
We're trying to understand the inner workings of a leprechaun's...
It was so unmenacing.
Yeah, I don't...
I mean, did you guys get that feeling when watching this scene? Like it wasn't suspenseful, like it should be.
No.
Well, they come and start smacking him with sticks.
Yeah.
It was very chaotic, but not at all at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, without any stakes.
Yeah. It was chaotic, but nothing was happening.
Maybe part of this because like we just see the back of the Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Like they never show his face during that whole like thing, and then until like Nathan gets out of the trap.
Well, also this kind of it's set up in a way that feels like we're entering the climax of the movie, even though they haven't really met the but then we have another 30 minutes after this, and I think that also feels. There's a very strange, again, this is my last critique of the movie, but there's a lot of like strange pacing in the last, not maybe in the last half, but the last 30 minutes or so. And it starts with this. And I think maybe from a filmmaking perspective, again, and they also, like you said, they only had under $1 million. So what they did obviously like has stood the test of time in the genre. But you can kind of see in these moments where it is a bit like, how do we sustain the momentum of this movie to get it to a neat 90 minutes? And it is a lot of stop and go-ness of, well, we need this scene. Well, how do we get there? Well, just have them interact and then get away and then reconnect with the Leprechaun and then get away and then so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So I think that might be it. It's just, we don't know what to do. We don't know how, because if you get too climactic in that moment, and you really put up a fight against the Leprechaun, you establish too much of like the strength from the heroes too early, because then you have 30 minutes of
because then your movie's over.
Yeah, how can he be threatening if we just kicked his ass?
Yeah, that makes sense. So from the point I made where it's like you just see his back, there was, I guess, apparently Warwick Davis got sick at some point during this, and so for a lot of action scenes there was a stand-in. And then like they would go back and reshoot like dialogue bits with him.
Gotcha.
So I wonder if that was one of those moments where like, but then why didn't they just come in and do a reverse shot and get him doing something? I don't know. I mean, again, very fun movie. Like you said, Danny, it's clearly hit a nerve or sparked something and made sequels.
Big old franchise.
Made a big old franchise.
Danny, blink twice if you want to critique.
I can't stop blinking, but I won't do it.
But then fucking Nathan, right? A little bit later, they're like, is he dead? And Nathan's like, oh, there's no way. I put fucking 6 rounds into that thing. And I'm like, dude, Nathan, you put 6 rounds into a bush.
Yeah, you
dummy.
Yeah.
Like, why did he keep shooting and waste all his bullets?
Yeah.
Not knowing what he was shooting at.
Yeah.
Oh, Nathan is a true little silly knucklehead in this movie because
silly knucklehead.
There's that whole sequence where Lubdan is in the cabinets and he keeps telling Tori to carefully open the cabinet so that he can shoot. Yeah. And it's like, you don't have to open a cabinet to shoot through it. Yeah. You have a shotgun. Just shoot. But also he then, not only in that sequence, but then later he shoots Lubdan again and then is like, I think I got him. But he had already shot him earlier and knows it's already been established that leprechauns, it doesn't hurt him. That's my last critique of the movie.
Well, just like put a pin in that, Danny, because next they go to get in the truck to try to drive away. And not only is the leprechaun in the engine of the truck, but then he runs to the shed and has somehow made like an armored go-kart with a pitchfork on the front of it. When did that happen?
Now, okay, did I miss something? Is it implied that he makes that in like the few seconds that he's in the barn, or was he working on that earlier?
Zach just doesn't know what happened. None of us know what happened. He's magic. He's got magic.
Well, they could have. That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
He does have magic, but they could have, to Zach's point from earlier, that could have given him an excuse. Like, where is he? Like, what's going on? And we could have had like some cutaway shots of the barn with like sparks flying through the window. But, like something's happening.
Yeah.
But then he sets it on fire because of all the hay. You can't make a go-kart in a barn.
That's true. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. That's my critique.
You can't make a go-kart in a barn.
Can't make a go-kart in a barn.
But he does somehow, and he knocks over the car. They get chased back into the house. He gets his hand chopped off in the door
by a door,
which is funny. I mean, like the hand crawls up and opens the door, and so that was kind of funny. But Tori ultimately gives him his nutsack of gold back. He's like, "Oh, I got me powers back," and then you think everything's good, but then he goes and counts the gold, and you realize that he's one short. And we know that the gold is in Ozzy's belly, but
they could have gotten 99 seconds ahead.
Mm-hmm.
They sat there and waited for him to count it.
Oh, there are moments in this movie when they're trying to escape with the one of the funniest scenes in the movie, like genuinely funny, is when he's cleaning the shoes.
Yeah,
and they're throwing the shoes to distract him. It was driving me crazy because I'm like, throw all of the shoes and then do it. Like, they're doing one at a time and then waiting for him to clean a shoe and then go to the next one. That's my last critique of the movie. But so I was like, I don't understand. Like, I get the purpose here, but the execution leaves a lot to be desired.
They're not smart.
I don't understand why Tori was the only one that left.
It's a great question.
Number one, why did the other three stay at the house, just in general? Number two, they all know the town where this hospital retirement place is. She doesn't know the town. How does she know where to go? There's no Google Maps. There's no MapQuest. There's no fucking Waze.
Well, you could also argue that scene always feels a little, every time I watch this movie, it feels like such a detour because you don't really get anything from it except information about the clover.
That's not true.
Yeah.
You get the silly part where he's in the wheelchair.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, the speed ramp wheelchair chase.
I guess of all the scenes in the movie, we actually needed that sequence the most.
Yeah, I love
that. I was wrong.
With the retirement home or hospital, whatever it is, that has 0 employees except the one security guard.
A cop.
Yeah, and I was really tired. Was Dan in the ceiling?
He was like in the ceiling of the elevator.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, Dan gets all the great story moments and beat, but we never see it. He's got this great journey through Ireland, finding a leprechaun, stealing his gold. He clearly gets into a fight where he's like in an elevator shaft, like fighting with a leprechaun, and then like gets thrown through the ceiling. We don't see it.
Yeah. But, going back to like no employees in the fucking hospital, you're working on limited budget, like very small budget for this type of movie. Yeah. So it,
they did a great, again, we're not here to criticize. We're just here to observe.
Especially not you, Danny.
Especially
not me. Of all three of us, I'm the least one willing to.
You're not.
Criticize.
You don't criticize.
It's not going to happen.
Normally it's me.
So. Yeah. One thing that we did skip over was the phone gag, which is a very much a blend between A Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously, and Scary Movie 2. With the strong hand.
Oh, that's so funny. I forgot about that.
That little hand was so gross.
What's with the hand? Why?
I don't know.
Why is it so little? It's creepy.
Yeah. It's like a chicken foot.
Yeah, it was like a chicken foot.
But that was a fun little Nightmare on Elm Street nod. Okay, so earlier I talked about Alex. I was mad at him because he didn't believe Ozzy about the leprechaun, even though they found the nutsack of gold at the rainbow and all that stuff. Tori, as they are digging through the fucking clover patch to find a 4-leaf clover, Ozzy says, "You're not finding it because you don't believe." And she like freaks out on him and says, "Enough with all this magic crap. Like, stop with all the magic. Girl, You've been chased by a leprechaun. You have like all this shit has happened, and you're still yelling at Ozzy to stop yelling about magic. Like what?
Clearly, there's magic here.
And what's funny is he didn't really go hard on the fantasy. It's like not something that was established with him, aside from like occasionally mentioning like, I think there's a leprechaun here.
Well, I think a part of it is like the phone call that he makes to the police. That's where they establish it, because he calls them all the time with all these stories.
Yeah, they're like, what is it this week? That's true. It's a leprechaun this week.
Yeah.
And that's the sheriff's like, he's a good kid. A leprechaun, that's silly. Yeah. But like, okay, so even that, but you've seen the leprechaun himself do magic.
Right.
Yeah.
God damn it, Tori.
So eat your fucking meatloaf.
Eat your fucking
shut
meatloaf.
Your fucking mouth, Tori.
Drink your Evian water. Wear your leather shoes. Go back to the mall.
Which also just cracks me up because the movie just decides it's about believing and having faith.
Yeah.
Like, never established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They find the 4-leaf clover right after they say, you don't believe. And she's like, whatever, I found one. And they like shine the light on it. It's great.
Oh, I love the light. But I love that you can see it even when she's holding it, like before it shows it from her point of view. The light is on it already.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. But you can't, funny. I don't know. It was funny.
In the meantime, while they're looking for this, Alex is trying to set the bear trap in the barn, thinking he's going to catch the leprechaun, but he's not successful. He's being attacked by the leprechaun, and Ozzy comes in and he's like, hey, I'm the one you want. I've got your gold coin. Come after me. And poor Ozzy. Like, I felt so bad when he was like getting cut up with his the leprechaun's buckle to his shoes. Yeah. And then Alex comes and gets the one-liner.
The one-liner is my favorite. And when we did Ghosts of Mars, you were like, oh, I think that this Ice Cube one-liner is probably like the only one-liner that like works in these kinds of movies. No, this one is better.
Oh, no. God.
Really? You don't think the fuck you Lucky Charms? Oh, I love it.
Well, again, it's like I think the reason I don't like one-liners is because they're like put in there to like get a reaction out of the audience. And it's not like something that the characters would say, really.
Why would he not say it?
I don't know. I mean, in this movie, he probably would, but
yeah, he's a kid. He's a 12-year-old that owns a business.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. With liability insurance.
Yes. Yes.
He says, fuck you, Lucky Charms. But earlier in the movie, we see a quote unquote box of Lucky Charms, but they're called Lucky. What is it? It's not Lucky Charms because they can use Lucky Charms.
Right.
It's like a knockoff brand called like Lucky
Red Apple cigarettes.
So yeah, Red Apple cigarettes. So like, do they live in this world where Lucky Charms actually exist?
So, and they just happen to buy the knockoff brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they live in a world where Lucky Charms exists. The only thing that exists in this world that doesn't exist in our world is leprechauns.
Okay.
As far as we know.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm glad you liked the one-liner. It didn't, and I think I have a bias against Alex, so maybe that.
You do? Oh, he's the best character in the movie.
I don't know.
He's a 12-year-old kid, Zach.
Yeah. I mean, I like the actor in Forever Young, though it's a movie he made before this with Mel Gibson and Elijah Wood and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, he's in that.
I like the actor in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Alex has some of my best lines from the movie when he's like, he acts like, I know we've established he's just like a 12-year-old kid, but he acts with as though he's insurance. Like, with
he owns a business.
Insurance. But he acts like he's so seasoned and tired, like he's just like a jaded old man. Because like one of the first lines when he's like, I could use a beer.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And then Ozzy says, he's like, can you die from swallowing gold? And he's like, yeah, after I kill you. He's tired of this. It's his shit.
Yeah, I'm with Danny. I like Alex.
Thank you. Well, Alex shoots the leprechaun with the 4-leaf clover in his slingshot. Yeah. But this was a cool little death scene where he's like melting and he's melting away and he falls down the well and then he climbs back up and he's like, I'll get me gold. And
I wish Nathan didn't get the final blow because it was also, again, Nathan does not know how to use a fucking shotgun because he finally has an opportunity where the leprechaun is like physically vulnerable, like literally shedding apart, where then he could have been like, shoot him in the head with the shotgun and like explode. But he just kind of like nudges him with the butt of the gun. Like down.
He's probably out of bullets because he fucking wasted all of them.
That's true. Yeah.
God damn.
He had he had a plan in his head. He's like, this is going to be so cool. And he goes to do it. And he's like, fuck.
Yeah. Nathan, I guess he's problematic.
Great to look at, but
yeah,
he's eye candy. He's eye Lucky Charms.
Yeah, Alex is definitely like the mastermind of the business.
Oh, wow, look who's coming around.
He uses Nathan
look who's
to be
suddenly obsessed.
I need you to sign the paperwork.
Yeah, basically.
All right, well, that is Leprechaun. So now it is time to pick our favorite reveals in Leprechaun.
What's going on here? I don't see anything anywhere. That's how they get you. They're under the goddamn ground.
Okay, speed round recap. Here we go. 6 official reveals. We get the opening shot of the movie. Number 2 is Mrs. O'Grady opening the suitcase and falling down the stairs. 3 is Ozzy removing the clover from the crate and the leprechaun pops out. 4 is Joe, the coin shop owner, getting pogoed. 5, the police officer pulls over the leprechaun in the little tiny car with all the toys in the back. And then our 6th official reveal is Nathan, and we'll call him the gang. Nathan and the gang meet the leprechaun.
That's what I called them.
Oh, cool. Yeah. They are a gang.
Scooby Gang.
Yeah.
Scooby Gang.
Said it's a whole gang.
Yeah. So, Casey, let's go with you. What is your favorite reveal?
So, although I really do love the tiny car so much, my favorite reveal is actually to Mrs. O'Grady, because I just thought it was really funny when she fell down the stairs.
Okay, when she did her cartwheel down the stairs.
You love a good staircase death.
It was great. Yeah. It was really good.
Danny?
I've got to go with the that cold open. The first time we meet Mr. Lubdan. I love the vibe.
Mr. Lubdan. I love you got a Mr. now. That's great.
I like the moody atmosphere. I like the vibes. Mm-hmm. I like that he just kind of literally enters his own movie right out of the gate. He's got a limerick. Mm-hmm. You know, he's not. He is in the shadows, but he's not hiding in the shadows. I don't know what I'm talking about. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, I totally get what you're saying.
Try as I may, try as I might. I liked seeing the leprechaun in low light.
Nice. Yeah, I have to go with the opening shot of the movie too. And, you know, I love that setting where he's like, we don't know really where he is. He's like in a castle or something. He like comes down the stairs and you get more of his lair in part 2.
Yes, I was going to say, I think, yes, absolutely.
Part 2 has like, he's got like a whole like underground thing going on, which is fun. And so maybe I'm associating that with this, but yeah, I definitely have to go with the opening as well. A close second for me would be Ozzy removing the clover and having him pop out. That was cool. But okay, now it is time for the segment that we like to call The Real Monster.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
You're a monster.
I'm not the monster here. You are. You and the rest of that fairy tale trash poisoning my perfect world. Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me.
Who wants to kick us off? Kick us off.
I feel like I haven't kicked us off in a while.
Who wants to kick us off?
Who wants to kick us off?
Crash and burn, Casey.
Crash and burn, Casey.
So my real monsters, I have a few. Okay. I have Nathan, which I kind of mentioned this pretty recently when he kind of steals Alex's thunder with that underwhelming final blow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Should have shot him in the face, but we obviously probably didn't have any shotgun shells. Tori, for she has the 4-leaf clover, and there's a scene in the barn after Alex is attacked. And if you watch, I recommend going back to the movie and rewinding it, or fast forwarding it, I guess, if you're starting it from the beginning. Rewind it if you're starting it from the end. Maybe you rented it at a video store and someone wasn't kind and rewind. Watch Jennifer Aniston. She literally just holds the clover out and kind of like waves it at him as he just runs away. Like just literally just toss it at him. And it apparently, as far as lore suggests, it would destroy him.
Yeah.
O'Grady, for I mentioned this earlier, he knew to kill the leprechaun, but decided to trap him instead.
Mm-hmm.
And the ultimate real monster of the movie was the color of the house.
Yes.
Including the shutters.
Oh my God. Like,
imagine living in that town. And I understand, like, it's an isolated residence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really visible to a lot of people. But imagine living in that town and you kind of have like a general like aesthetic.
mm-hmm.
And then these fucking assholes come in from Beverly Hills and paint it bright primary blue and then bright red.
Yeah. They'd be like, did you see what they did to the old O'Grady place?
Yeah. And then they break the fucking well, which I'm assuming was like a historical landmark as far as the town was concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Rip out all the 4-leaf clovers.
Painted their fucking clover patch green.
Yeah. Oh, and then they decided to fix that.
That's why the clover patch was green, because the fucking fuck up paint guys
yeah, that was the roof.
They spilled
they
the green.
Yeah, that old antique truck. That's where like the kids would go to smoke pot after school. And they're like, well, that's fucking gone.
Yeah.
His family, JD and his family is real.
Oh
monsters.
God, JD.
Where is he?
He was in the hospital.
Oh, so he's in the hospital. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just feels very removed from the story rather than
He was.
Well, it's funny because at the very end, like
He gets
the
out of the cop
cops
car.
all of a sudden show up and they're like booking it
and
to
they
the
don't
fucking...
know how to drive either.
Yeah. So like what changed from them saying, oh, there's a fucking leprechaun here, don't believe
Probably
him?
because there was an explosion.
Well, she calls. Doesn't Tori call?
Oh, does
And
she
they
call?
kind of
Yeah,
are
but
like,
there's also an explosion.
Oh,
yeah.
They fucking blew the well up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. And maybe they found the dead cop in the...
Little do we know that if we just move the camera a little bit to the right, the sheriff's department is literally right there.
Right next to it.
It's like, come outside, there's a leprechaun. It's like, no, don't even look out the window. But yeah, the dad, JD, like does like rush out of a cop car and like hug them at the end. It's like as the shot, it's like an aerial shot, and like there's not focus on it, but you kind of see him
after this point.
Yeah. Casey, who's your real monster?
I have two. One was the diner because meatloaf.
Okay.
And the second is Tori because she does not know the difference between North Dakota and New Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very different places, just even in terms of fucking geography.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't they feel themselves driving up north?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. You know how you can feel yourself driving
There would be
up?
like a gravitational pull if she was
driving up instead of driving down.
The air is a lot thinner up here.
Stupid.
Okay, I've got the flirting in this movie. Casey, you mentioned it earlier. Like the way they flirt is so weird. That is,
you don't rub people's legs under a truck after you meet them.
Like,
what did she? There was one thing that she said that was really weird about an old man in a truck. I don't know. I can't remember now.
Oh, yeah. The way she came around was very weird because when she first meets him, she bumps into him and tips his paint thinner over, and then she tries to like buy it, and he's like, "Just say sorry."
Oh, yeah.
And also, what paint were you thinning, sir? What were you guys even doing? All you did was dump paint on a house. You weren't cleaning anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. And then she, she fucking changes her tune real quick. The dad's like, okay, you're right. Let's leave. And she's like, put the bags back in the house.
Put the luggage back in the house.
But anyways, yeah, the flirting was just weird. And, we'll go over here and check this out. And she's like, I'll stay with you, Nathan.
Yeah.
Strange. But my official real monster for Leprechaun, I even thought this was such a real monster that I even put the text in bold in my notes. Alex is the real monster of Leprechaun.
I quit.
That little fucking, number one, he's just a little fucking dickbag.
The only criticism Danny did not have.
Yeah, literally. I had every criticism was covered except Alex.
Okay, he's a little dickbag just in general. Number two,
he's a 12-year-old running a business, Zach.
He shoots his fucking friend, I'm going to say quote unquote friend, in the face with a slingshot. Like, what the fuck?
Zach,
slingshot safety. No, don't even.
You're 12. When you were 12.
I was not allowed to have a slingshot.
That's how I made friends.
Yeah, because you probably would have shot people in the face with it.
No.
Kids do silly things.
No, okay. On top of that, and I know we find out later that he meant it from a place of love and all this stuff, but like, he tells his friend, oh, we'll get you an operation to fix you because you're dumb.
That scene.
He's like, people call me dumb. And he's like, oh, just behind your back. Like, fuck you, Alex. You should be standing up for your friend. You should.
I agree.
Oh my God.
It is an insane scene. I forgot about that. We'll use this goal to fix your brain.
He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders from the business, Zach.
That's true. That's true. He's very stressed.
Speaking of which, I wish I added another real monster, not to take... I know this is your...
you're trying to dampen the Alex as the real monster.
I'm so sorry. But child labor laws in this town?
I know.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, fucking get your shit together, North Dakota. What is this, New Mexico?
And Nathan, get your shit together, Nathan. You don't need your 12-year-old brother to work with you to run your business.
Get your shit together, Nathan. You shouldn't be painting houses.
That's true, too.
You are not good at this.
Yeah,
that's true.
Definitely not.
Maybe he's a mobster and they aren't. It's like that saying, like, you paint houses. I hear you paint houses.
I hear you paint houses.
I hear you kill
Perfect.
people.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they are mafia assassons.
Well, he clearly doesn't kill people because he also can't fucking shoot them.
Yeah.
So
he's
a shit mobster too.
It's like, instead of like, I hear you paint houses, it's maybe you should paint houses.
Maybe you should paint houses.
So he was a failed mobster turned house painter.
He's like, I don't care about that. I don't know what I'm doing. Just slap the paint on there. But okay, yeah, Alex. Okay, he tells his friend he needs an operation, which is rude. Then Ozzy later gets his fucking ear almost bit off, and he's upset. And fucking Alex smacks him across the face and tells him to like basically suck it up. And I'm like, dude, Alex, you're a little dickbag, and you are the real monster of Leprechaun. So,
all right, well.
Sorry, Danny. Sorry, Casey. That is my answer, and I'm sticking to it.
That's fine. You're outnumbered.
Zach, I'm not here to criticize, but
but if you do like that actor and you haven't seen Forever Young, I highly recommend checking out Forever Young because he's best friends with Elijah Wood. And
is he also not the kid? Isn't he in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh God, I love that movie. That's a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the babysitter's kind of a monster.
She is. She's scary. But okay, so let's do our final segment of the show. Would you survive the 1993 Trimark video production of Leprechaun?
And here we go.
I would say how anyone doesn't survive the Leprechaun baffles me.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah, I don't think this is much of a conversation here because throughout our previous conversation, we've discovered that he is not very menacing. He's quite easy to handle.
Not just that, but we're not thieves.
It's true.
And if a man said, "Hey, you stole my gold, give it back or I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
Like,
I'd give it back.
But wait. Yeah. If you found a nutsack full of gold coins at the bottom of a rainbow, you wouldn't take it?
I would take it. But then when he came to me and said, "Hey, gonna fucking kill you. That's my gold." Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir.
Well, I would also just assume if I found gold at the end of a rainbow that it probably was a leprechaun's. And
same.
As lore
having seen this movie
kind of taught me, I'd be like,
leave it.
I think he's very like demented, and I think like even if you gave him his gold back, he'd be like, "You took it, and so I'm gonna fuck you."
You know what
up.
I would do?
I wish
I would ask him to bite me so he could turn me into a leprechaun.
Is that how that works?
Ooh.
Fine.
He learned that from Olive Holding vampires, didn't he?
The Pimento.
They do mention Dracula in this movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
So wait, is Dracula part leprechaun?
Yeah.
Trying to see, I'm thinking of like what are some like parallels between vampire lore and leprechaun lore. Gold glitters in the sun, and so do vampires in twilight.
Yep.
So there's that.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, we would survive. I think we would survive an electricon.
Now that's holding the story.
An electricon attack. I want me gold coins.
Ooh, that's a movie. Electricon. Ooh, that's a cool. An electricon.
An electricon.
Do a movie about a robot leprechaun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like saying that as like, this is a great idea.
Yeah. What if you get, like Leprechaun in space? What if you got an upgrade like Jason? Like Uber?
Yes. Yeah. Electricon.
He would be Electricon.
Oh, missed opportunity. Let's remake the whole Leprechaun series just so we can get to that.
Yeah. We have to make 3 of them just to get to 4.
Alex is the main character.
That dude, I was looking at his IMDb. He stopped acting in like 2009.
I know. I just saw that.
So I don't know. Wonder what he's doing.
Well, hope everything's
I don't know.
okay.
Yeah. Maybe he just had a change of heart. You know,
you're a fan favorite. You're a 2/3 fan favorite on this podcast.
You're a kid actor. You know, it's got to have a weird effect on you. So maybe he was just like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Got out of the game. But okay, that is Leprechaun. That's our second movie in our Unlucky Fucks triple feature. And to wrap it up in the next coming weeks, Danny, what is our third movie in Unlucky Fucks?
We're facing the ultimate. We're facing death itself in the 2000 horror thriller Final Destination.
Woo.
Yeah, Final Destination. It's been a while since I've seen it. I think
it's been a while.
I think I saw part 2 recently, like somewhere on TV or something. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about Final Destination, and we might even have a special guest for that. So you don't want to miss that episode. And how could you start the Unlucky Fucks triple feature with Cabin Fever and Leprechaun and then not finish it with Final Destination? I don't know. So
it's literally the final destination of unlucky people.
Exactly. Exactly. So
why did I say Unlucky Fucks? That's the name of our thing. Way to go, Daniel.
So make sure that you don't miss that episode. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform if you are not already, and share this with your friends so that they know to listen. And social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And where can our listeners find you two on social media if they would like to follow you?
I am on Instagram at WolfMotherCasey.
Nice. Danny?
I'm on Instagram and Blue Sky at my name, Danny Salem, DANNY SALEMME. That's 2 M's like the candy. Melt in your butt, not in your hands. Oh, wait. That's 2 M's like the candy. Melt in your olive hole.
Yes. I was like, please say olive hole. Please say olive hole.
I thought you were hoping he didn't say anything. I thought you were hoping, like, please let him be done with this bit after 123 episodes.
No, that's my favorite part of the show.
Is this our 125th episode?
This is our 125th episode. Yeah.
Wow.
This is our 125th full episode. We have a handful of small bonus episodes and things like that. But
wow.
Yeah, that's 125 olive hole M&Ms.
Too many, I would argue. My pimento is raw.
Ew.
Oh.
You're a red-ribbed pimento rocket.
Guys.
God, that's so gross. Okay,
guys. Dumb and Dumber. Guys.
You can follow me on social media at Zach Winsick. And make sure to round out the Unlucky Fucks triple feature with Final Destination. And until then, thank you all for listening. Now go meet some monsters.